हेलो दोस्तों, दिस इज मनीष एंड यू आर वाचिंग E-LITT मनीष सर की क्लासेस। दोस्तों, आज हम जॉन मिल्टन पर आधारित 76 से लेकर 100 तक के क्वेश्चंस को डिस्कस करेंगे और फर्स्ट 75 क्वेश्चंस के लिंक्स आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएंगे दोस्तों। सो विदाउट फर्दर डिले, लेट्स स्टार्ट आवर टुडेज क्लास। हियर कम्स आवर क्वेश्चन नंबर 76. Paradise Regained is a poem by English poet John Milton, first published in 1671. The volume in which it appeared also contained the poet's closet drama, Identify the Drama. Options given are Samson Agonistes, Comus, Lycidas, or none of these. The correct answer is सैमसन एगनिस्टस। दोस्तों, जब पैराडाइज रीगेन्ड अ पोएम इन 4 बुक्स पब्लिश हुई थी तो उसके साथ एक क्लोजेट ड्रामा जिसका नाम सैमसन एगनिस्टस था वो भी पब्लिश हुआ था और ये दोनों 1671 में पब्लिश हुए थे। एंड हियर इज द कवर पेज ऑफ दैट बुक। लेट्स कम टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 77 नाउ. Paradise Regained is connected by name to his earlier and more famous epic poem, with which it shares similar theological themes. Indeed, its title, its use of blank words, and its progression through Christian history recall the earlier work. Fill in the blank. The options given are L'Allegro, Paradise Lost, Comus, or Lycidas. The correct one is Paradise Lost. Next question. The poem Paradise Lost concerns the biblical story of the fall of man, the temptation of Adam and Eve by the fallen angel Satan, and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden, which work of Milton deals primarily with the temptation of Christ as recounted in the Gospel of Luke. The options are Samson Agonistes, On Arriving at the Age of 23, Paradise Regained, none of these. The correct answer is Paradise Regained. हाँ दोस्तों, Paradise Regained ही वो वर्क है जिसमें हमें टेम्पटेशन ऑफ क्राइस्ट एज रिकाउंटेड इन द गोस्पल ऑफ ल्यूक देखने को मिलता है. इट ब्रिंग्स मी टू आवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नाउ. द पोएम पैराडाइज लॉस्ट was originally divided into 10 books in 1667, then 12 books in 1674. In how many books was Paradise Regained divided? The options are 8, 14, 4, 10. The correct answer is 4. Paradise Lost को 1667 में 10 बुक्स में डिवाइड किया गया दोस्तों और 1674 सेकेंड वाले एडिशन में पैराडाइज लॉस्ट 12 बुक्स में डिवाइड हुई. लेकिन पैराडाइज लॉस्ट का जो सीक्वल था जिसका नाम पैराडाइज रीगेन्ड था वो कंपैरेटिवली छोटा था दोस्तों. उसमें तो 4 ही बुक्स आई थी. 14 बुक्स तो हमें वर्ड्सवर्थ के प्रिल्यूड में देखने को मिलती हैं दोस्तों. लेट्स कम टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 80th नाउ. हमारा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन भी पिछले वाले क्वेश्चन से ही रिलेटेड है दोस्तों. एंड हियर इज आवर क्वेश्चन नंबर 80th. द फर्स्ट एडिशन ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट वाज पब्लिश्ड इन 1667 विद 10 बुक्स. सेकेंड एडिशन इन 1674 विद 12 बुक्स. व्हेन वाज पैराडाइज रीगेन्ड फर्स्ट पब्लिश्ड विद 4 बुक्स? ऑप्शंस आर 1671, 1672, 1673 or 1674. The answer you would go for friends is 1671. 1671 ही वो साल था दोस्तों जिसमें पैराडाइज रीगेन्ड भी पब्लिश हुई थी और उसके साथ साथ सैमसन एगनिस्टिस नाम का ट्रेजिक ड्रामा भी. इट ब्रिंग्स मी टू आवर क्वेश्चन नंबर 81st नाउ. Which other work was published in the same year when Paradise Regained got published? The correct one is Samson Agonistes. Samson Agonistes appeared with the publication of Milton's Paradise Regained in 1671, as the title page of that volume states, Paradise Regained, a poem in 4 books, to which is added Samson Agonistes. Let's come to the next one now. What is the meaning of the word Samson Agonistes? Here are 4 options: Samson the wise, Samson the king, Samson the lethal, Samson the champion. The correct one is the last one, friends. Samson the champion. Let's move on to the next one now. Samson, imprisoned and blinded by Philistines in Gaza, laments his state, noting that the person who was supposed to save blank from the Philistines has now become their slave. Samson, जो कि गाजा में कैद करके और अंधा करके फिलिस्तीन्स द्वारा रखा गया है दोस्तों, वो ये सोच के दुखी है कि वो व्यक्ति जिसे इस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री को फिलिस्तीन्स से बचाना चाहिए था, आज वो उन्हीं फिलिस्तीन्स का गुलाम बन गया है. Fill in the blank. The options given are Israel, France, India, or none of these. The option A is correct, friends, because Samson, imprisoned and blinded by Philistines in Gaza, laments his state. He notes that the person who was supposed to save Israel from the Philistine has now become their slave. He explains that his blindness is by far the hardest aspect of his imprisonment, as he feels cut off from God's creation. वो अपने अंधेपन से इसलिए दुखी है दोस्तों, क्योंकि भगवान की बनाई हुई सृष्टि से वो अपने आप को कटा हुआ पा रहा है. Let's move on to the next question now. Whose blindness is by far the hardest aspect of his imprisonment, as he feels cut off from God's creation and feels so demoralized that he even describes himself as a living grave. The options are Comus, Lycidas, the lady, Samson Agonistes. The correct answer is Samson Agonistes. Next one, the sun to me is dark and silent is the mood, nor am I in the list of them. Take hope. Hopeless are all my evil, all remedies. Where do we find these lines? The options are Comus, Lycidas, the lady, Samson Agonistes. The correct answer is Samson Agonistes. Next question. Samson admits that he himself is the only one to blame, as he was the one who told Delia the Nazirite secret about his hair. Who is Delia here? Samson's mother, Samson's wife, Samson's close relative, or none of these? The correct answer is Samson's wife. Delia confesses her guilt and seeks forgiveness from Samson for what she did. Delia, जो कि सैमसन की वाइफ है दोस्तों, वो अपने गिल्ट को कन्फेस करती हैं और सैमसन से माफी भी मांगती हैं. But Samson refuses to believe her, thinking that she is only a manipulative woman incapable of feeling love or remorse. Let's move on to the next one now. Manoa does not recognize Samson. He wants to blame God for punishing Samson too harshly. Who is Manoa in fact? Options are Samson's father, Samson's sister, Samson's brother, or Samson's friend. The correct answer is Samson's father. बिल्कुल स्टार्टिंग में जब मनोआ आता है तो वो अपने बेटे सैमसन को पहचान भी नहीं पाता है दोस्तों, और वो भगवान को ब्लेम करने लग जाता है कि भगवान ने सैमसन को कुछ ज्यादा ही बुरी तरीके से पनिश किया है. लेकिन सैमसन भगवान को दोष नहीं देता है, वो सारा दोष अपने सिर पर लेते हुए कहता है कि सारी गलती उसी की है, क्योंकि उसने डेलिया को वो राज बता दिया था और जिस वजह से उसका ये हाल हुआ है। लेट्स कम टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 88 नाउ। Who reveals that the Philistines plan to have a big celebration on this day to honor their god Dagon, and that Samson will be paraded in front of them as evidence that Dagon is the true Lord. The correct answer is Manoa. Let's move on to the next one now. What is the name of the giant who mocks Samson and reveals that he wished to fight with him when he was in his best shape? Harappa is the correct answer here, friends. It brings me to question number 90th now. Who comes and tells Samson that he has to attend the public celebration in the honor of Dagon? Options given are an officer, Harappa, Delia or Manoa. The correct answer is an officer. 91st, who returns just in time to hear what Samson has done. He killed every Philistine and himself by destroying 2 large pillars and collapsing the entire structure of the theater where the celebration was held. Options given are Delia, Harappa, Manoa or a messenger. The correct answer is Manoa. 92nd, at Thomas Ellwood's suggestion, but what hast thou to say of Paradise Found? Milton wrote the second part of the epic called Paradise Found, Paradise Taken Back, Paradise Regained or none of these. The correct one is Paradise Regained. I, whoever while the happy garden sung by one man's disobedience lost, now sing recovered paradise to all mankind. By one man's firm obedience fully tried through all temptation and the tempter foiled. Identify the poem. The correct one is Paradise Regained. In 1671, Milton's last important work, which was the most powerful dramatic poem on the Greek model, appeared. The options are Paradise Regained, Samson Agonistes, Paradise Lost, none of these. The correct one is Samson Agonistes. 95th, Satan, frustrated, takes Christ to Jerusalem and tells him to throw himself off the pinnacle of the Jews' temple. Quoting a psalm, Jesus quotes back, "Tempt not the Lord thy God." Satan falls. Whose poem's ending is this? The options are Samson Agonistes, Lycidas, Paradise Regained, none of these. The option C, Paradise Regained, is correct. Satan, a little onward, lend thy guiding hand to these dark steps a little further on, for yonder bank hath choice of sun or shade. There I am wont to sit when any chance relieves me from my task of servile toil. Identify the poem which begins with these lines. The correct answer is Samson Agonistes. Pandemonium is the name of the meeting place where Satan and his fellow rebel angels make strategies against God. Who designed it? The correct answer is Mulciber. He was the designer of palaces in heaven before his fall. जॉन मिल्टन अपने फेमस एपिक पैराडाइज लॉस्ट में पेंडेमोनियम को द कैपिटल ऑफ हेल के रूप में इन्वेंट किए हैं दोस्तों। अगर इसके लिटरल मीनिंग पे नजर डालें दोस्तों तो ये एक कंपाउंड वर्ड है जो पेन और डिमोनियस से मिलके बना है और इसका अर्थ होता है अ प्लेस और अबोर्ड ऑफ ऑल डिमंस। इट ब्रिंग्स मी टू आवर क्वेश्चन नंबर 98 नाउ। Which one was Milton's favorite? Paradise Regained, Samson Agonistes, Paradise Lost, none of these. The answer you would go for, friends, is Paradise Regained. 99th, Nothing is here for tears, nothing to wail or knock the breast, no weakness, no contempt, dispraise or blame, nothing but well and fair. And what may quiet us in a death as noble? Where do we find these lines? Samson Agonistes, Lycidas, Paradise Regained, none of these. Samson Agonistes is the right one, friends. Let's come to question number 100th now. Who lament Samson's death but celebrate his heroism and commitment to God? The options are Manoa and the chorus, Delia and the chorus, Manoa and Delia, none of these. The correct one is Manoa and the chorus. With this, I end today's class, friends. I hope class समझ आई होगी. Thank you very much.